What's good, everybody? Welcome back. It is time for the Snug Wrestling Podcast, and tonight we got the SmackDown review from Ireland, Dublin, where we saw John Cena, Logan Paul, Randy, Drew McIntyre. It was a pretty crazy show that we saw here today, and to help me go over it, Mr. Blood and Tommy's here. Toxic is out once again. He's out doing his responsible duties. So it's just part of the Snug Crew. But it's all good though. What's going on, fellas? How we feeling tonight?
Pretty good, pretty good. Can't wait to get into it, specifically the John Cena Logan Paul segment. But other than that, pretty damn a much more cohesive episode of SmackDown, I should say.
Really, you think so? I
I
kind of.
think I think as
I
of
was,
late, this was one of their better ones. I think they made a few smarter decisions tonight that I actually liked.
Interesting.
Well,
All right.
weirdly enough, they cut it down by like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there was something weird about the timing of some of these segments and stuff, which we'll get into that because since we're in Dublin, Ireland, I guess it was only right for them to start off with Becky Lynch. Okay, this is the first time that Dublin, Ireland has ever had a televised uh, WWE TV program, so they had to start it off with Becky Lynch. However, this is SmackDown, not Raw, but here we go again. The same thing that we talk about over and over again. There's no brand split. Everyone's just showing up from, whenever they want, all over the place. So, okay, fine. We get Becky Lynch on SmackDown. No problem. It's her hometown. And then she starts shitting on her hometown. And then she starts healing on them. And at first, it was like, okay, she got the big crowd reaction. Everyone's happy to see her, and then she just goes ape shit on them and just starts talking shit about her own people and her hometown, and tries to get all the heat as much as possible. But what did you guys think about seeing Becky Lynch on SmackDown tonight?
I thought it was massively entertaining. And I've been somebody who's not been the biggest fan of Becky's heel turn, only because the way that she decides to work heel, especially like promos, um, is a stark contrast from her babyface persona, which makes sense. You want it to be somewhat different. You want it to be all the good values of you, but flipped on your head, like how Drew's done it. He was always the truth teller. He was always aggressive. He was always, a brute, even as a babyface. But then he leaned into that being a massive part of his hubris as a heel. With Becky, it's like before, when she was a babyface, she was humble, and she was also sometimes kind of just, always talking about herself, but she did that in a way that was respectful. Like, don't disrespect me. I'm one of the most important women wrestlers of all time. Or, like her feud with Trish Stratus is a great example of that. But I haven't liked a lot of her shtick lately because, as I've poetically put it before, she reminds me of a fucking Muppet on crack when she's cutting promos. I told you over there that when I was here, and she sucks her cheeks all the time. No, no, no. And my hot husband, and she's all hands and like, she's like, but she like moves and flails around like a fucking Muppet. And I'm like, I don't know if you're doing that on purpose or if you're so into it, it's just naturally how you're moving. But it's always been very goofy for me to see her be a heel this current run, because when the way that she cuts promos almost feels laughable to me because she doesn't seem believable. She seems like she is going as over the top character actor as possible. But this was a lot of fun tonight because she leaned into that, and then she started going into like, oh, Bono is trash, and oh, this person's trash, and she's like, oh, I enjoyed this more tonight because it seemed like she was really having fun with the crowd at their expense.
oh yeah, Becky was definitely having quite a bit of fun. I just wasn't expecting who came out after her, if I'm being completely honest. I was expecting like Nikki Bella or something like that to finally put those two head to head. But Tiffany came out. I'm like, wait, huh? Stratton comes out to talk to Becky? Why? Then Nia came out. Then Jade came out. I'm like, what the hell are you planning here? Because these four are just random. Like, Becky makes sense. It's her hometown. Okay, great. That's like CM Punk casually being in Chicago, no matter what fucking brand it is. That makes sense. I just seriously was not expecting those three specific women to follow her out.
Yeah, I wasn't really big on this. This is one of the segments that I felt like I was actually happy when Tiffany Stratton's music hit because I'm like, okay, finally we're gonna get somewhere. I I wasn't really a big fan of Becky Lynch going out there and trying to prove to everyone that she's this big evil heel. Like, to me, it wasn't necessary. To me, that felt like cheap heat. Like, we know like she's a heel, especially like nowadays. We live in an era where the heels are cool, the heels are getting cheered. Like, it's okay to come out there and then accept all the cheers from the crowd in your hometown as a heel. But when the baby face comes out, then you start getting on the baby face and you get your heat on the baby face, and that's how you remind everyone, hey, Becky Lynch is still a heel. But then she started talking crap about her own hometown, her people, other Irish celebrities there that the people clearly love. It just felt cheap to me. But I did like how we got to see Jade Cargill and Becky Lynch in the same ring face to face, even though they're on opposite brands. I think I want to see more of that. But just really quick, what did you guys think of seeing Jade and Becky Lynch like that face to face?
Now that's the part I was not into. Because for me, you know where I stand on Jade. I was very high on her in the beginning. Uh, I can't buy into her anymore as a competent challenger. She just doesn't feel ring confident. She doesn't feel main roster ready, and she hasn't even before she and Bianca broke up. Um, I really don't need to see her going for another title right off the bat. What I need to do is see her get moved to NXT to work on her craft a little bit better, because she doesn't even really have a character. Her character is big black badass who has a cool entrance and just stands there and aura farms. That is her character. And that's not interesting to me because there's about another half of the roster that does that already. So to me, seeing her and Becky in the ring doesn't make me go, oh my God, I got to see this match, because I didn't even need to see her versus Tiffany Stratton. And when that match was over, I was like, that's exactly why I didn't need to see it. And speaking of which, totally forgot Tiffany Stratton was still the champion. Legitimately, swear to God, until I saw her come out and was like, oh yeah, why did I forget that you're the SmackDown Women's Champion? That's a problem that I forgot that. But other than that, the ending of this didn't do it for me. I was like, let's move on. Holla holla, make the tag team match play. Let's do this Teddy Long all night,
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Aldis made a good call, in my opinion, turning this into a tag. But my whole thing is, yeah, we will get to the main event later because that's exactly where my mind goes to this right now. Because what the hell was that? But this whole thing between Jade and Becky, just like Blood said, we really don't need this. Like, at all. Like, Jade, as Blood has said, needs to go to NXT. She should have gone to NXT in the damn first place instead of randomly showing up on the main roster for about 5 fucking weeks before going, hey, I'm gonna make my debut now. Like, no. Your entire thing is, I'm a storm. That's it. That's all you got. Go back down there, cause you need some adjusting. You need some fixes. Cause holy crap, you definitely showed that off with Tiffany.
Well, we'll get into the main event because this is not the last that we're going to talk about Jade Cargill, and I'm going to just leave it at this. You guys are both wrong, all right? But we'll get into it when we get into it. We had a tag team match with The Miz and Carmelo Hayes, Oz Him versus Motor City Machine Guns. Um, Again, man, I'm really enjoying this thing that they're doing with Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. They seem to be really getting along out there as far as like, they seem to be having chemistry, with the blind tags going back and forth. Like at the beginning of the match, they seem like they were really having fun with it, and that played a big part in the finish of this match. The Miz once again, right when Carmelo Hayes was gonna hit that big finish and get the win, the Miz interferes. He tags himself in and steals the pin from Carmelo Hayes. But I think Carmelo Hayes is starting to get ready to like outsmart the Miz. He's kind of playing along with the Miz, but eventually Carmelo Hayes is gonna be the one to outsmart the Miz at the end. At the end of all this, I think it's just they're slowly building to it. But again, another great tag team match versus Motor City Machine Gun. Great finish. I'm really enjoying this. But what did you guys think about this?
I'm gonna say this might have been match of the night or very close contender. The crowd was massively into this. I mean, come on. When's the last time you saw a match with the Miz in it that got "This Is Awesome" chance? Like,
Yeah, he's getting
that
cheered.
that right there tells you this is working. And sometimes when you have like those, Frankenstein together tag teams, like two random guys get thrown together, it doesn't work because you're just trying to fill spots, right? Like Andrade and Rey Fenix. You were just trying to say, let's put two Mexican guys together, because we needed another team for WrestleMania. But as far as it's concerned, like, when you see this, there's something about Carmelo's presentation and personality that makes sense with the Miz, right? It's all about the A-list. It's all about being the guy, him. I am this, rock star, this celebrity that everybody loves, but no one seems to know that they love it kind of thing, and it works. Motor City Machine Guns are always going to be on top form, no matter what match they're in. But Carmelo really got to show his shit tonight in the best way. Crowd was eating it up. He was getting cheered to high heaven. All four men were. Great near falls. And the Miz getting a win, a pinfall win in 2025 was not on my bingo card. So as far as it's concerned, I love that this is working because it's at that time in Miz's career, I feel, where people really need to start realizing just how underappreciated and underutilized the Miz has kind of always been, because he is that damn good. And there is a reason they actually put him with Carmelo in the first place, because they know that the Miz has what it takes to help Carmelo get all the way over in the best way. So I like this. This works. It's smart. Great fucking match. Great finish.
Yes, it's smart. Although it seems like some matches are more forgettable with Miz than others. Because I am going to remind you that what you just said about Miz getting a pinfall win last week, once again, nothing but net in the damn chamber. Miz tags himself in and gets himself a pin.
Remember, I didn't watch last Friday Night SmackDown. I missed the show.
That's right. But I could have sworn that would have been in the clips. Just saying. But this whole thing with Miz and Carmelo, please turn on this man. It would get so much of a pop to see you outsmart him. Then again, Miz getting outsmarted isn't really a thing to go, hey, I did this thing. No, because literally anybody has outsmarted this man in some sort of way. But I do agree, it is a fantastic decision putting these two together. Now, hopefully, Triple H actually pulls the trigger on a turn when it comes to a tag team. They didn't do that with A-Town Down Under. Please, Triple H, do it correctly this time.
All right, y'all. The next match is I saw something I did not expect to see now that we're talking about bingo cards in 2025. Charlotte Flair versus Piper Niven. And no Alexa Bliss, surprisingly. I could have sworn because, Chelsea Green was out there on Piper Niven's corner and Alba Fire was out there. I was expecting to see like a run in or something by Alexa Bliss that, would get a huge crowd reaction. Maybe they would jump Charlotte Flair after the match, after Charlotte Flair defeats Piper Niven, because I did not think that Piper Niven would ever get a win over Charlotte Flair, but that's exactly what happened. Piper Niven pinned Charlotte Flair, and I thought that was fucking insane, but they gave us an unpredictable finish, something unexpected. I was actually kind of glad to see that because fuck, that's fucking insane. But no Alexa Bliss, but Piper. How about Piper Niven getting the pin over Charlotte Flair?
That is easily Piper Niven's most important win of her entire career. Thus, he gave it to her on a random episode of SmackDown. That is the biggest career, or sorry, the biggest win of Piper's career and they did it on free TV. Here's the thing, though. It protected Charlotte in the finish with the eye rake. However, people always forget that unless it's a massive PLE, every wrestler is nerfed on regular main roster TV, because Charlotte has taken like 2, 3, 4 finishers in a row and kicked out from main eventers. So, but everybody forgets once it's main roster TV and not a special event, big money PLE, they're nerfed. They're one finish and they're done. I think the match was really good as far as it was concerned. The girls had good chemistry together. I'm going to say the reason Alexa wasn't there most likely is because obviously she still has a very, very, very young child at home. I don't even know if that kid is 2 yet. So she probably didn't want to go all the way to Dublin when she's got a baby or a very young toddler at home, which makes sense. Yeah. Especially just to go to Dublin for, a fucking pre-taped SmackDown. You know what I'm saying? So like, she'll probably be in Paris, I'm assuming, for a tag title match. But I thought this was fine. I thought it was good. Big win for Piper. It means a lot for Piper. I love that Charlotte's also willing to, do the job for the, to make sure that some of these younger talent get the wins racked up. Piper is also a massive threat. They just don't book her like one, even though she is one. So I thought this was good.
Yeah, and I think Alexa Bliss should be on SmackDown next week because I think they announced a tag team title match next week, which is also in Europe somewhere. But welcome, Toxic. Toxic is in the house with us. What's going on, dude? Give us your thoughts about good old Charlotte Flair versus Piper Niven.
I am fashionably late. Anyways, this match was boring. A lot of the matches tonight were lackluster, in my opinion, except for the Street Profits and who did they face
MFTs.
again? Yeah. But I just didn't really like this match. But I thought Piper pinning Charlotte was good. One, now the Secret Harvest or whatever the fuck they're called, I don't really care. Get a title shot, which I mean they've been feuding with Alexa and Charlotte for the past couple of weeks. Come on, do it already. Which we're getting that next week, so yay. But no, not a lot of thoughts, just other than it's boring.
Yeah, I was very, very confused at first on Charlotte getting pinned. So I'm like, why the fuck would you pin your champion right now? Like, why? And then that tag match was announced. I'm like, oh, that's why. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. But this whole thing, I'm like, okay, I'm getting into it at first. No. It only went downhill for me, in my opinion here. Because at first it was just like, big boot, big boot, big boot. Like, really, Charlotte? Is that all you got? Like, seriously? I was not surprised when when Chelsea Green got involved, because I knew that it was either going to be Chelsea Green or what's her name?
Alba Fire.
Yes, Alba Fire. I knew it was either going to be Chelsea or Alba that was going to get involved somehow. Boy, was I not surprised whatsoever when Chelsea decided to go, hey, you're upside down now. Face! Like, I'm not surprised in the slightest on that. So, I'm hoping Alexa and Charlotte retain next week, but we'll see how that goes.
So halfway through the show already, and we've seen the Women's Intercontinental Championship from Raw. We saw the Women's Tag Team Champions, well, half of them. And I'm thinking, where the hell is Julia? Well, we saw Julia in a backstage segment. And like Mr. Blood says, oh, I forgot that Tiffany Stratton was champion. I forgot Julia even fucking existed. I can't remember the last time we've actually seen her in the ring. She's just been doing these backstage segments, and Kiana James, I believe is her name, is like her bodyguard or her representative. But then Kiana James is going around trying to recruit people. Like, are they trying to create a faction, or are they looking for security guards for Julia? Because last time I checked, Julia was a badass in the ring. She doesn't need backup or fucking security guards or a faction. I have no idea what they're doing here with Julia or Kiana James. Do you guys have a clue here?
No, but I really do hope it's not a faction, because this is not AEW, and not every 4 wrestlers need to be in a fucking group. As far as concerned, again, totally forgot Julia existed. I forgot that woman was fucking born at this point. She solely got put on SmackDown so they could get the United States Championship off of Zelina. And then in between, when they feel like they want to present the United States Women's Championship, they have that woman evaporate into thin air and then materialize back just in time for, hey, we're going to probably have you do something at the next show. Am I going to wrestle? No. But you're not defending that title either. Not what we're trying to do. We're trying to bloat and inflate all the championship reigns. That's why Tiffany is still champion right now. And that's why Zelina was champion for like a month before you took it, and why you're going to be champion until we figure out how we want to get it off you. But we have no intention of making that belt serious whatsoever. And we're going to throw this random scrub with you. Who's that? Oh, that's Kiana James. Oh, I forgot she existed too. So couldn't give less of a feckin' toss as far as it's concerned, my friend. Couldn't give less of a feckin' toss.
I think I'm the only one here that has an idea on what they're doing. I don't know what Tommy thinks, but we'll figure that out after my turn. They're not making a faction. Thank God. We don't need another Secret Harvest 3.0, 2.0, whatever the hell. Yeah, no, Kiana's just being Julia's representative and contacting people like for title matches. She's basically lawyer slash wrestler slash Paul Heyman 2.0, but as a female. So yeah. To be honest, I'm not really happy with Julia as champion. I was like, okay, I'm not happy with Chelsea as champion. I'm not happy with Zelina as champion. Now I'm not happy with Julia as champion. Put it on fucking Michin. She will actually do something good for that title. I believe that Michin takes it off of Julia.
That also doesn't make any sense, though. Like, why would the champion's representative be going around asking people to fight the champion or trying to get challengers for the champion? It should be the other way around. People should be coming to her, and then Kiana James should be the one to decide, okay, not you, not you, not you. It doesn't make any sense. Go
And
ahead,
that's what
Tommy.
Michin was doing tonight.
All right, I guess.
Honestly, I'm surprised that no one brought it. brought out a very specific detail. A certain someone decided to walk up the stairs and right back down in the background.
Yeah, Nikki Cross.
Nikki
Yeah.
Cross was in the background spying on this entire segment. So I'm starting to wonder if there's something going to be involved with Julia and good old Nikki Cross, especially with the fact that Nikki could choose literally anyone else to spy on. But she specifically is looking at Julia and everything surrounding her. She could look at Tiffany, she could look at literally anyone. She's choosing Julia. I don't know why, but Nikki Cross is specifically looking directly at Julia. So, starting to wonder how in the world that's going to affect things. Because we didn't really see any of the Wyatt Six out except for Nikki Cross in the background of this segment. So I'm really starting to wonder what in the world is going to be up between these two. So I would not be surprised if they go, hey, Michin, you want a match with Julia? All right, fine, you got it. But there's someone been lurking in the background that wants her too. Hey, Nikki, go ahead. Wouldn't be surprised on that. Or at least she goes after Julia a little bit more. I don't know what in the world Nikki Cross's plan is here, but we will have to see.
Yeah, the White Six also showed up in that backstage segment with the MFTs, Jimmy Uso, and Sami Zayn, but we didn't really talk about that because it wasn't really that important. At least I didn't think so. But what was important that we do have to talk about was the segment at the top of the hour between Logan Paul and John Cena. And man, this was one hell of a segment, one hell of a promo battle because both of these guys, even Logan Paul being the heel, they had some good points. They told a lot of truth to each other here. Logan Paul, he's playing that young, cocky, overconfident, new up and comer, right? This is my house now. You know, I've done all these things. I've been here for 4 years. All my matches are amazing. And for the most part, he's right about all these things. But John Cena had to sun Logan Paul and tell him, look. Whoa, slow your roll there. You had 23 matches. I've been here for 23 years. You only wrestle at PLEs. I did house shows. I did this. I did everything. I've been busting my ass. You're just here to benefit yourself, and I'm here for the fans. And John Cena fired back, and it was really great seeing these two go at it. Logan Paul was all fired up on the mic. You know, he was really feeding off that amazing crowd in Ireland. It was one hell of a segment. However, am I the only one that kind of felt like this kind of dragged a little bit too long? But what did you guys think?
When I watched the clip, it was the WWE on Fox clip or USA clip was, I think, 11 and a half minutes. And some of that was Logan's entrance, but their promo itself went about 9.5 minutes, 9 minutes, 45 seconds. So they talked a while. They're talking like 3 songs. But as far as concerned, I do not think I'm over exaggerating here when I say that I think that this was Logan Paul's absolute best promo he's ever cut in the entirety of his run in the WWE. I will also say this might be one of the best promos John Cena has cut all year. Logan said a lot of truths, but as great as John Cena is, I can't believe I'm about to do this. I'm going to highlight Logan Paul more because we already expect greatness from Cena on the mic. But to get this out of Logan, that was impressive. And not because John got it out of Logan. Logan talked first. And I am not a guy who likes Logan Paul. I respect his in-ring acumen. I respect the grind. I respect that he's self-made. I respect that a lot. He's an asshole, but I got to give him his flowers. This kid came out here and straight up cooked on the mic. Tried to shut the fans down multiple times, fed into the crowd, gave it back to them. But what really impressed me was when he cut this promo, it felt genuine. It felt real. He felt legitimately fucking aggravated and pissed off. I believed him when he was speaking. Everything he said, I bought in, and I was like, you are really furious. But what really sunk in his performance for me was when John Cena was barbecuing him. It was Logan's facial reactions, his expressions, the pacing, the following John eye to eye, not breaking contact, staying in the intensity, and then just mumbling and just really like you bought in. Like he felt like someone would if someone had been going off script in front of you and you had to sit there and take it and you start seething. That's what Logan was giving me. I felt like John Cena was grilling him for real, and he was sitting there taking it while getting extremely pissed off the longer it went on. I bought into it. I loved this entire fucking segment. It didn't drag for me. It just kept building up the anticipation for the eventual AA that we got. But I got to give Logan his flowers. I think this might have been his best promo performance in the entirety of his WWE tenure so far.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm doing it either, but Logan cooked on the mic. I respect everything he does. I mean, I don't like the dude, but he's put in the work. um he's still an outsider, but yeah, it's just this thing. This segment was probably the most interesting thing of the night for me. Like the opener, okay. The last match was the with the Street Profits and MFT. It was okay, but this was the most interesting thing of the night. Liked everything Cena and Logan did, and I'm excited for Clash in Paris, mainly because I want to see Sean absolutely whoop Logan's ass.
Yeah, I will absolutely have to agree that this is the best promo that Logan has had yet. I have a feeling like eventually he will get better than this, but this was still the best promo that has ever come out of Logan Paul. Honestly, when it comes to Cena, though, y'all are right. He absolutely barbecued this man, especially when he went over to the Prime Hydration station and said, hey, you use us as promo for this so you can get another damn Pokemon card. Just shoves the damn thing over, and we don't see it for the rest of the night. Which honestly, I found hilarious how in the world that happened. But Logan's response, his facial expressions after that happened, after it cut immediately to him, he's like, yo, what the hell? Why? It's like this whole thing, it seriously makes me, as Toxic said, extremely excited for Clash in Paris. And that's getting a little bit iffy, wording wise, but hey, Clash in Paris is going to end up being Clash in Paris. It's going to happen. So here we go. This match is happening. I am also excited with exactly what Toxic said. I want to see not Jake, both of them, both Paul brothers, but still, I want to see both of them get their asses beat. But odds are Cena is absolutely going to put all of their respect right into Logan Paul.
Yeah, I was kind of feeling like they kind of took them a while to get to the point. Even though the segment was really good, I thought they kind of took a little bit too long. And then after seeing the rest of the show after this, to me, it seemed like everything else that came after this segment was being rushed. So I was kind of feeling like maybe John Cena and Logan Paul took a little bit longer in this promo than expected, because everything after this was just like boom, 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 in and out, let's go, let's go. Like the match with the next match after this was the MFTs versus the Street Profits. And I mean, at this point, I'm not invested like in the Street Profits. The MFTs haven't really done anything except for Solo Sokoa. But like we've talked about JC Mateo, how he's just like he's cold now. Like there's nothing there. There's no excitement there. And then Tongaloa too. Tongaloa, I mean, he's just there half the time. And then Talatanga, who's fairly new, but we've seen him wrestle and his matches again. So there was really nothing in this tag team match that made me really care or look forward to. It wasn't until Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso showed up and they got involved that this match got interesting. And then Street Profits took advantage and Street Profits got the win over the MFTs. Thoughts on this tag team match, you guys?
I'm going to keep it brief because I've said this ad nauseum at this point. I love the Street Profits. I can't give, and I couldn't give less of a fuck for the MFTs, the Bloodline 3.0, Kmart Bloodline, whatever you want to call them. I no longer care. I have no stock in them. JC Mateo is a massive disappointment on his arrival in WWE. Talatanga, just okay, a younger, slightly more mobile Great Khali. Couldn't give a shit about Tongaloa. I don't care anymore. And I'm honestly really pissed off that they moved Sammy back to SmackDown to throw him into this bullshit when he had a story going on Raw about trying to be the next champion, a world champion finally. And he had a whole story going on that they just randomly cut him out of, by the way, when he was the first person to get attacked by the Vision. So I'm like, you just don't got a beef with Seth and them anymore. You're cool just ditching Jay over there to, get attacked and jumped all the time. Like, you were a part of that story. What the fuck is this? So I just, I don't give a fuck no more.
Yeah, I'm kind of on there. Like, I'm kind of on the same page with, like, why the hell move Sammy over to SmackDown? I mean, but at the same time, I'm also enjoying his time on SmackDown because I don't know why. It just feels right that he's there. For me, there's something inside that says this is where he needs to be right now. I don't know why, because clearly he needs to be in the Vision story. I guess that's what we're calling it. But there's something says he needs to be here right now, and I hope that Sammy takes the title off of Solo next week because that got announced. Because Solo is not proved he is a credible champion, and he just needs to stop holding it. Agree? Disagree? Agree.
Yeah, and this whole thing with Sammy makes sense why they moved him over to SmackDown because, Jimmy does need a little bit of help, at least. Like, I get it. He's had his whole world title thing going on Raw, but honestly, he can take a break from the world title picture for a bit. And it still would not hurt him whatsoever just to take a break from the world title picture for a little bit to help out Jimmy Uso. Which gets me into this. Hey, Tala, I bet you weren't expecting Jimmy Uso to come out and hit that crap out of you with a chair, were you? That whole thing I just found hilarious because he's over here hitting him with a chair. Next thing you know, Hikalea's like, no, go away. But this whole match, not match of the night, I honestly, out of the 4 matches I believe that we were given, this is third. That's it. And that's not really saying much because this entire night really was a bit eh. But overall, we will see how in the world Sammy decides to kind of go against the whole, hey, I am outnumbered 4-1 right now. So we will see how in the world he decides to deal with that besides having Jimmy there. Since obviously Jimmy is going to be there, we will see how in the world he decides to go up against the other two.
Yeah, something interesting that Sami Zayn said in that backstage segment earlier in this episode was he told Solo Sikoa, "You're not facing the underdog Sami Zayn. You're going to be facing the main eventer from WrestleMania." So it looks like they're trying to get Sami Zayn away from that underdog story and put him over as like this bigger star, because I think Sami Zayn can be a bigger star on SmackDown than he was on Monday Night Raw. So I think that's what they're trying to do there. But at this point into the show, after this tag team match, it was on my time 6:40, which means there was 20 minutes left on the show. And we still had yet to see Aleister Black versus R-Truth and the main event, which was a women's tag team match. 20 minutes left, and I'm thinking with all these commercial breaks, like, are these matches going to be like, what, 5 minutes each with the entrances and everything? Like, so Aleister Black is coming out, and I'm like, they really just flew Aleister Black all the way over here to have like a 2-minute match versus R-Truth. I'm like, this match, they've been building up this match for weeks now, and it's gonna be what, fucking a 3-minute match? Like, this seems crazy to me. And then we see R-Truth on the screen, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it because I accidentally flew to Dublin somewhere else. I guess I forgot what state he said." So typical R-Truth, right? And I was thinking, oh, Ron Killens is going to show up. He's going to beat the crap out of Aleister Black. But instead, it was Damian Priest. He jumps Aleister Black. They have a fucking 30-second brawl. The security comes out. They break him up. And that's it. That's all we get from Aleister Black on Friday Night SmackDown. Like, what? Oh my God. But what did you guys think about this?
It really kind of solidified for me that as much as I loved the Logan Paul John Cena segment, because I think it was the absolute best thing on the entire show, they could have saved that for next week to save 11 minutes of TV time. And if you include John Cena's entrance, probably 14 minutes of TV time, which means we could have gotten at least one full match between Aleister and R-Truth that could have gone 7-8 minutes. And then we could have got commercial breaks. The women's tag entrances could have gotten maybe 12 to 15 minutes out of that. But that 14 minutes that they took for the John Cena Logan Paul segment really did, I agree with you, it may have just very much well derailed the end of the show. Because it's all about time management, man. If it's pre-taped, remember, you can cut shit out before the live broadcast. So I don't know why they wouldn't take that chance to go, well, let's cut this one match out, or let's get rid of these 2 segments. Like, you know, like we didn't need the segment backstage with fucking Julia. You could have cut that out and saved yourself 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. You know, like you could have cut somewhere. It's only a 2-hour show. And this is not Netflix where you can run over, you know, by a couple minutes if you want to. This is network TV. There is another show on the time slot after you that is going to run into your time. So I feel like that is where the effects happened here. If you thought it wasn't going to work, you should have just cut the Aleister Black, Damian Priest, and R-Truth thing and the Julia thing, and you could have made the entire thing after the you know, the entire end of the show could have just been the main event and let it get some time.
I would have cut
Could have
Becky
been
Lynch's segment in half.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
wasn't necessary.
honestly, she literally cut because there's 2 clips, by the way, on the WWE on Fox. She has her own. Sorry, on the WWE's website for SmackDown's highlights, she had her own near 4-minute clip for a promo, not including her entrance that was edited out. Then there's a second clip for her entire fucking thing with the rest of the girls, Nia and Tiffany and fucking Jade. There's a whole nother separate segment for that broken up on their website. So, and that's again cutting out and editing out entrances. So,
do you think that was a plan all
that's
along,
10 to
Blood?
12 minutes right there. You what?
Do you think that was a plan all along, or were they like, oh shit, we don't have enough time? Let's just R-Truth, go film this clip really quick, telling the people that you're not going to be here, and we'll just throw Damian Priest out there just really quick. Because that's what it felt like.
Well, the thing is, because it's pre-taped, it's not like they did it right then and there. It was definitely a part of the original script that got drafted right as the show was going on the air. That was in the script. The problem is, I guarantee you they had to pivot and go, fuck, we don't have time because we have to squeeze this segment in and we got to squeeze that segment in. And they just did not produce or manage it properly. I guarantee you Triple H wasn't there. So, because he's probably getting ready for Monday Night Raw, back in the States or whatever. So he's probably not flying all the way to Dublin. So as far as it's concerned, someone else.
I think they're staying in Europe until Clash in Paris.
Okay, then they might be on a tour right now. He's probably doing other shit. This did not feel like a show that Triple H was in charge of. You know what I'm saying? You can feel, no matter what's gone on in the last several months with, hot shot booking, this and that, you can feel when Triple H isn't on the show. You can feel it. You can tell that this is sloppy seconds on the script. They could have cut 2 to 3 things and had a more cohesive show. It wasn't that it was, and remember, I said at the start of this podcast, I said it was more cohesive tonight than it had been of late. That wasn't exactly a compliment. That was me saying it's been even worse than this previously. They've got to do something, fix something. I mean, do better. Maybe we needed to keep that 3rd hour for SmackDown. Maybe we actually needed to keep the 3rd hour because they are cramming so much shit into this. They have introduced they have literally introduced how many new stars to the SmackDown roster in the last 5 months, and they took away an hour, even though they added more stars onto the show. That's a problem. You're doing it in reverse, guys.
I expected this entire thing. I'm like, here's what I see happening during this match. R-Truth isn't even gonna be there. He's gonna be like, oh, I went somewhere else. I'm just stupid, goofy R-Truth. I mean, calling him stupid because he's not stupid. I mean, if you're snug, then he's stupid. But anyways, I expected this entire thing. I'm gonna be like, I was like, Damien's gonna be there instead of R-Truth because, I mean, remember, Alistair took Damien out, so Damien's obviously gonna want to get some payback on Alistair. And to be honest, I thought we were getting Damien and Alistair at Clash in Paris, which that's probably what we should have got. We should have got their first match at SummerSlam, but nope. Just had to throw Becky and Lyra in there. Anyways, I expected this entire thing, so not a lot of thoughts.
Triple H, is it R-Truth or is it Ron Killings? Which one is it? Make your damn choice. We're kind of, like, at least I am. I'm kind of getting sick and tired of the whole, hey, look, I'm goofy. Wait, I have to be serious now. Make up your mind. Is he still R-Truth? Or is he the serious Ron Killings? Which one is he? Because, this got frustrating with me. Because when they first set this match up, he was all goofy and then got serious as soon as Aleister Black walked in. And now he's right back to being Goofy R-Truth again? Make up your mind. Is he truth or is he killings? Please, Triple H, make up your mind. Which character is he? Just, But Priest was kind of expected if R-Truth wasn't there. Because as soon as Truth said, hey, say hello to my little friend, Aleister Black, first thing that popped into my head is, okay, Triple H, are you telling me it's Huepa? Is it Priest? And then that theme hit. I'm like, yep, this is going to end up in a full-blown brawl. You have 1 week, all this. 1 week. Please put this in Paris. It makes the most sense. I mean, Aleister took out, well, quote unquote, took out for like 3 weeks. Priest with a chair and a black mask. Please just put this on Clash in Paris. We honestly need more since we're only running like, what, 3 matches? 3 or 4 right now? So we need to round that sucker out.
Well, one of the good things about John Cena and Logan Paul taking up a whole lot of time in their segment was that they cut the main event short also, at least it seems that way. Which is great if you're Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill looked really good in this match. Her last match that I saw too, I believe was in SummerSlam. I also thought it was pretty good. Jade Cargill got the win. She's the one that stood out the most out of everyone here. So I think that was the whole point of this, is to put some shine on Jade Cargill. And I'm gonna have to start that what's the word? Fuck. That narrative. There we go. That narrative out there that there's a chance Jade Cargill is actually gonna improve and get over and be this huge star that we always expected, because I thought she looked really good here tonight. I gotta say that. But other than that, I didn't really care too much about this match. That's really all that stood out to me. But what did you guys think?
How could Jade Cargill not look good tonight? Think about who she's in the ring with. You see, her tag partner is Tiffany Stratton, right? Tiffany is 10% to 15% less green than Jade. But look who they're working opposite of. Becky Lynch, a fucking great worker, and Nia Jax, someone who used to be known as the worst worker on the women's roster, whom since has become an amazing worker on the women's roster. So you have 2 former women's champions, world champions, heads of their divisions, basically making sure that they sell and sell and sell for these other 2 younger and up and coming talents. Obviously, it's going to make Tiffany and Jade look good when you have 2 professionals like Nia and fucking Becky Lynch making sure that you get as much shine and as much fucking, pomp and circumstance and smoke and mirrors is the key phrase as possible. Nia Jax was once touted as the worst women's wrestler in the WWE locker room on her first run, whom many would argue she is the reason Becky Lynch blew up, because of that fucking shoot accidental punch to Becky's face where she broke her nose because she was such a bad worker. She couldn't throw a worked punch. So she clocked Becky with a real one on accident, which put Becky into superstardom. Now they are literally on a team together all these years later, because people forget just how long Nia Jax has actually collectively been with WWE, minus the when in between her 2 stints. She was with WWE for a minute. So this match, great, did its purpose, I guess, in making Jade look, much better than she normally does. But, you can still put lipstick on a pig. You feel me?
Yeah, not a lot of thoughts about this, but I'm only gonna say this because I don't do Raw because stupid school. Becky at this point, if I just her as women's intercontinental championship because who the fuck do you have her take it off of? Who in the hell do you have take it off of her? You're sure as hell not gonna have Nikki Bella take it off her. I mean, who? That's why I bring this up every time we talk about the women's intercontinental championship. That's why not putting it on Dakota Kai is the issue. That's the whole thing you fucked up with the title, and now you're having it on Becky to try and make it better. So Triple H takes something that the want, except for Snug because he doesn't have all the belts, and fucked up. So not a lot of thoughts on the main event, and Becky as Women's Intercontinental Championship or champion is fucking stupid.
Nia should have been pinned. I am going to full blown say this. Why the hell are you pinning her Intercontinental Champion? Why? In my opinion, Nia should have been the one to take the pin, not Becky Lynch. Because you're trying to make that Intercontinental title look big. Why the hell are you having Jade Cargill, of all people, pin Becky Lynch on free TV? Why? In my opinion, full blown, Nia Jax should have been the one to take that pin. And I will gladly die on that hill.
You just might be, buddy, because there's a reason you don't pin Nia Jax. She's been built up to be a massive mega monster. Nia Jax is supposed to be a final boss in the women's division. You don't just pin Nia Jax lightly. Look how hard it was for everybody to get through her just to get the title off her this year. You cannot pin her so haphazardly. Becky, on the other hand, is the mid-card champion. Pinning Becky is not going to hurt someone as big as Becky. It's, if anything, pinning Becky is going to put a lot of clout behind the person who pins her, i.e. Jade Cargill. That is exactly why they did that. If this entire match was to build Jade Cargill's reputation, having her pin Becky Lynch, of all people, pretty solid way to do that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, plus it also leaves that door open too for a possible match between Jade Cargill and Becky Lynch down the line, which I would be down to see. But that's enough for tonight, you guys. We got to get up out of here. We've hit our time. Mr. Blood, if you will, please take us home.
Absolutely. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of Snug Wrestling. Thanks for kicking it with us. We appreciate every single one of you tuning in. And don't forget, we are live every Monday and Friday night, right after Raw and SmackDown go off the air on YouTube, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, and Facebook for live post-show reviews. And as a bonus for reaction content during the weekly WWE broadcasts on all of our socials, then hang out with us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific on TikTok Live, where myself, Mr. Blood, and that handsome Mexican right there, the leader of Snug Wrestling, Edgar, do our weekly one-on-ones where we dive into random wrestling topics and answer your questions. Now, also upcoming this Wednesday, we have predictions for WWE's Clash in Paris before the pay-per-view on Sunday, August 31st. So be prepared to tune in for that. So follow Snug Wrestling on all social media platforms, as well as on Apple and Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, because your boys are ranked in the top 100 best wrestling podcasts in the United States of America, baby. And mark your calendars again for this upcoming Wednesday's Clash in Paris predictions. So until next time, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. And since toxic is here, that's one time for the one time. That was 4 letters. One word.
One word.
word.
Gee. Rock, what'd you say to all this?